Welcome back inside this week's edition of Trailblazer Weekly. Softball season is in full swing. The Trailblazers are off to a program record 15-0 undefeated start. Joining me to discuss the season so far is head coach Randy Simkins. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Garrett.
The grind continues, and more doubleheaders this weekend at home, and also an Alumni Weekend that we'll talk about here in just a little bit. The first time that we've done that, and trying to bring some alumni back this weekend as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show. But thanks for being here, and let's just jump right into it. We'll talk about it's the elephant in the room right now. And I know baseball, softball coaches can be superstitious sometimes, and players as well. Don't want to jinx anything, but best start in the D2 era for this team. 15-0. There's been some games that have been close over the last couple of weeks, and yet your team has just found ways to win. Let's just talk about that start a little bit and what you've seen that seems to be clicking for this team through the first 15 games of the season.
Obviously, I didn't expect a 15-0. We obviously hoped for it, but we've played really well at times. We've pitched really well at times. Obviously, Cambry's been clutch for us. Lexi Barkwell, Alex Melendez, Maddie Dove, Casey, they've all came in and given us good innings and have been really good at times when we needed them. But we've got some clutch hits, especially this last weekend, some really timely hits. Through the first part of the season, we didn't see dominant pitching. We saw good pitching and above average pitching, but we didn't see dominant pitching. The last game in Tucson, we saw really good pitching. And obviously against Concordia, we saw very good pitching. And I told them, I says, you know what, we're going to be better after the Concordia series, whether we win or lose. Because we're going to be tested. We'll be tested offensively. We'll be tested defensively. They're very well coached. They swing it really well. We'll be better, after Saturday's games, no matter what. Did I figure it was going to be a 1-0 game? I figured the first one would be pretty low scoring with Cambry and Callie throwing. But we couldn't have asked for anything better. Cambry's been nails for us, and we figured she would be. It's just a matter of how long it would take her to get to, where she needs to be. And she's still a long ways away from peaking, but she's got a chance to be special for us for sure.
And talk about the Concordia series here for just a minute. The 1-0 game, like you said, we figured it would be a lower scoring game in that first one, especially. Not very many hits combined even in that game. I felt like the one that scored the run was probably big for your team in a lot of ways. Saw Danny Barthoff get the bat on the ball and put it in play. RBI single. Felt like it was probably good for a player like Danny, who's was due for some hits at that point in the season to step up. And then she had 2 hits in the second game as well. And so now if you can get some hits coming from that, 7, 8, 9 bottom part of the lineup, you'll be in good shape as well.
And we've got production, especially early in the year. Caitlin DeLang had some big hits and was on base a lot. Brenna Hink has been big. Some of these kids that maybe didn't get as many at bats last year. Corey Gaughan's been big. Riley Teddick has been big. Danny, obviously. Danny can hit anywhere in our lineup, at the top of the lineup or the bottom of the lineup. And she was due. She had some bad luck, early in the season where she hit balls right at people and didn't get some hits and was able to sneak a couple through, and then that was a big hit, And we talked about making adjustments, because good rise ball, curveball pitcher. We had a lot of swing and misses. And I told him we got to make adjustments, work above the ball, and Danny did it, and it was big time timely. So.
Kenzie Sawyer has been huge for this team so far this year. Also, just been incredible. I mean, you can talk about Janessa and Jessica, the usuals, but Kenzie has been incredible for this team through the first 15 games of the season as well.
Kenzie's one that almost every day, her and Caitlin DeLang, and there's several of them that are, a high percentage of the time, especially Kenzie, and Caitlin, almost every day they're there an hour early hitting. And it shows. They put the time in the cages, and they're going to be able to be, taking kind of control of their own swing a little bit, be able to make those own adjustments. But we have a lot of kids that are there. They're there early, they stay late, working on their game. But I'm really happy for Kenzie because she really has put in the time.
There's been a couple of games so far this season that there were points in the game that I think maybe all of us were going, I think the winning streak might stop today. Colorado Mines, the first one, you trail by 3 runs in the extra innings, and then make it up, and there's a dropped pop-up, and then Janessa Bassett, a 3-run home run after that to tie, or a 2-run home run to tie, and then you win on a Kenzie Sawyer walk-off single. And then there was the Southern Nazarene game where you spotted them 3 runs in the first inning, and it was chip away, and then you tie it every time you tie it.
Yeah.
You know, they would score, and then finally you got the 3 up, 3 down in the 7th, and then Kenzie Sawyer again, walk-off single. And how has your team just found ways to win?
You know what? I think with early success comes confidence. You know, they feel like that they're going to be never out of a game. You know, and our lineup might be, and I keep saying this every year, but I think we might be this year, might be as deep as any lineup we've had. You know, we have Kenzie Sawyer hitting, you know, in the 6th spot, and she hit 50 home runs in junior college, you know, so she might hit somewhere else for somebody else's team, but they never feel like they're ever completely out of it. You know, when we spotted Southern Nazarene 3 runs and Casey kind of struggled in the first inning, the first comment that came from our dugout is, hey, we got Casey's back. We got to go pick her up. You know, they never said, hey, we're going to lose this game, or, you know, hey, this one's going to get ugly. You know, Lexi came in, got an out, got a strikeout right there. And the first comment from the dugout is, hey, we got Casey's back. We got to go pick her up. Let's try to go score some runs. And we were able to put some runs on the board in the early innings to kind of get ourselves back into it. And then confidence, when we start to swing it a little bit, that confidence is contagious throughout the dugout for sure.
Notre Dame Vandermeer here on Saturday and Sunday, and to be clear, the doubleheader on Saturday, Pac-West Conference games, single game Sunday, not a conference game.
Correct.
So just to be clear on that, but then also in conjunction with that doubleheader, I just want to talk for a few minutes about your Alumni Weekend. Obviously, you know, a lot of great Dixie State softball alumni have been through this program, and since you've been the coach, and this year, you know, making an effort, and hopefully it can become an annual thing to be able to say, hey, Alumni Weekend, come back, as far as I understand. You know, T-shirt is involved. He's some batting practice off Doug Rogers. He still owes me one at bat someday, but as long as he's just throwing me stuff down the middle.
There you go.
But also home run derby, a dinner, just fun things about. Talk about your Alumni Weekend and what we're trying to accomplish here.
You know what? We've got some great alumni. They've set a really high bar. They've been successful at the junior college level. They've been successful at the Division II level, and we've had some great young ladies that have come through here. And we haven't done a great job of recognizing, honoring, and showing appreciation to the alumni, you know, year in and year out. We've had alumni games in the past. It hasn't been a regular thing. Sometimes it's been in the fall, sometimes it's been in the spring. But we haven't done a great job of recognizing our alumni and the contributions that they've made to our program. So we're going to try to do this. We've worked with John Bowler and Wendy with the alumni department, with the athletic department, to try to put this together, to bring as many of them back. And we haven't, you know, we've tried to advertise as much as possible. So, you know, we're not sure how many we're going to get back, but we're going to try to do this every year. So we bring them in, recognize them on the field, you know, give some prizes away, you know, do some things where they're able to get back and get back in touch with, you know, not only their friends that they played with, but with other alumni. And you know what? You know, be connected and invited back to the university, because a lot of times you get your diploma and you know, kick out the door and you know, don't feel like you're part of it anymore. Well, they're a huge part of our success, and they're a huge reason of why our team is so successful, is because of what they've done before us and the expectations that they set. You know, year in and year out, our girls come in and they expect to win, and they expect to do well in the classroom, and they expect to graduate. You know, those things that our alumni have all done. So those expectations are good, and we want to recognize what they've done for our program and bring them back and get to see them again.
Certainly should be a fun time. There's an article at DixieStateAthletics.com right now. You can go check it out for all the details. You know, some pricing and some things involved with the event. It's free to be part of the event. There are some things, you know, a drawing and things that you'll have to purchase some tickets for that. But the dinner and just being part of it is free. You just got to RSVP to alumni@dixie.edu or reach out to Coach Simkins, and we'll get you on that list. And it should just be a fun weekend.
We'd love to have as many of the alumni and their families back as possible.
And it's been an incredible start for the season so far this year, and excited to be part of it, and you know, keep this thing going, and hopefully have a few extra home games a little later in the season, if you know what I mean.
We'd
we
like
won't
to
jinx
keep that
anything
going
at this point.
for sure.
But thanks, Coach. Thanks for stopping by today. We appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
It's time for our final timeout of the show. We'll wrap it all up with a look ahead in the next week in Trailblazer Athletics right after this timeout.